keep the focus on the United States because the Hollywood icon Doris Day has passed away. She died at the age of 97. Now, of course, as an actress, she starred in some really famous films like Calamity Jane, but she also recorded more than 650 songs. This made her one of the most popular and one of the most acclaimed singers of the 20th century. Well, this sad news came via the website of her foundation, the Doris Day Animal Foundation, and it said that Doris had been in excellent physical health for her age until recently contracting a serious case of pneumonia, and it added that she was surrounded by a few close friends as she passed. Tributes, of course, have been pouring in. William Shatner of Star Trek fame passing on his condolences and describing her as I think most people would recognise her, the world's sweetheart, beloved by all. Que sera, sera, of course, her famous song. David Silito looks back at Doris's career, which started back in the 1930s.
We'll be home tonight by the light of the silvery moon.
Doris Day, cracking that whip in Calamity Jane. No one captures better good-natured 50s Hollywood innocence.
So whip crack away, whip crack away, whip crack away.
Her romantic comedies were smart, glamorous box office hits. Pillow Talk with Rock Hudson won her an Oscar nomination.
You ain't the kind of gal who'd break a date.
No, I'm not.
And I ain't the kind of guy who'd ask you to.
I had a great time, and I think that they sensed it. That fun. And wear all the gorgeous clothes and work with Rock Hudson and Jimmy Garner and Clark Gable, you know. I mean, how bad can it be?
As a child, the young Mary von Kappelhoff wanted to be a dancer, but a car accident ended that dream. She then discovered she could sing.
Once over lightly when we dance, and you held me tightly.
In the late 40s, with her new stage name Doris Day, she was one of the highest paid singers in the business.
When we walk hand in hand, the world becomes a wonderland. It's magic.
The film Romance on the High Seas was her first screen role, and despite almost no acting experience, the star quality was immediately obvious.
Doris Day, star of the new film.
She went on to become the highest paid actress in Hollywood. In public, she was platinum grade, all-American good cheer.
Gonna take a sentimental journey.
But in private, it was a rather different story.
You can't tell me what to do.
This movie with Jimmy Cagney was perhaps a closer reflection of the first of her 4 marriages. Her move into TV was a consequence of her 3rd husband leaving her virtually bankrupt. Fashions had changed. Her movie career was over. And then in 1985, a reunion, a TV interview with Rock Hudson. A few months later, he had died from AIDS. Show business was now, for Doris Day, over. Her life, her animal foundation. There was an album of unreleased songs that made her a chart topper at 89. However, her wishes are no memorial, no funeral, no grave marker. However, we'll always have the films.
Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
Remembering Doris Day. Well, I want to return to one of our main stories, and it's actually the sad news that Doris Day, a Hollywood icon, has passed away. She was 97 years old, and tributes have been pouring in for the actress and the singer. One of the many tributes is from Stella McCartney, saying, "The one, the only, the woman who inspired so much of what I do." She ends it by saying, "Doris Day, I love you, my Calamity Jane." Of course, Calamity Jane, one of the most famous, one of those really famous films that Doris was in. Goldie Hawn, also another really well popular actress, saying, "Great Doris Day left us and took a piece of the sun with her. She brightened our lives and lived out her life with dignity." So I think let's leave you now with some of Doris Day's songs that are so loved in tribute of her. She has, of course, passed away at the age of 97.
Now I shout it from the heart.
more than 2 decades, Doris Day stood as perhaps the most glamorous icon of the American dream, both beautiful and homely in a way that struck a chord with her millions of fans. Her songs and films earned her worldwide fame. Her all-American image fell out of favour in the so-called permissive age of the late 1960s, but tonight, after her death at the age of 97, the tributes pouring in show that her style stood the test of time.
Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be.
With her golden voice, glowing smile and girl-next-door image, Doris Day became one of Hollywood's greatest stars.
Our lips shouldn't touch. Move over, darling.
And one of the world's most bankable ones.
With tea for two and two for tea.
Rising to fame in the 50s and 60s, her fresh face standing for a time of innocence. Her lilting voice catapulted her to stardom as a crooner, but her all-American charm made her a leading lady and the golden girl of Hollywood's golden age.
Whip, crack away, whip, crack away, whip, crack away.
Appearing in 39 films over 2 decades, she was a star in her own right. But her partnership with actor Rock Hudson made the pair a box office draw.
Hello. Is anybody on this line?
Yes, I am on the line. Would you please get off it?
But her life was not always as sunny as her movie roles. Her 4 marriages were marred by physical and emotional abuse. And as the sexual revolution of the 1960s stormed Hollywood, she went out of fashion, and critics began poking fun at her wholesome image.
If you would lose your weary blues, shake 'em away.
In later years, she became intensely private, making a rare appearance in 1989 to pick up a Golden Globe.
And it's been a wonderful life, and I'm not finished yet. I think the best is yet to come.
She resurfaced again on her 90th birthday. She had become a strong animal rights activist.
We love you, Doris.
It's magic.
Her foundation today said she died at her California home after contracting pneumonia. But her legacy will live on as America's silver screen sweetheart.